on the strength of authority. The Vedas are the absolute authority. The spiritual master, who is connected completely with the absolute, is an absolute authority. The message of truth comes through the Vedas and the spiritual teacher, and it also comes from within my heart. See, the Supreme Lord is in our hearts. All of this truth is for us. It's for our benefit. So if we can accept it enough to apply it to our life, we don't have to be convinced completely. If we can accept it enough to try it. See, I've known people who didn't know if it would work or it wouldn't work, but they were willing to invest a little time and energy to see. And when they did, if they were willing to allow it to work, you see, with a little, understanding, yeah, I got to allow it to do its job, then they see how this is completely on a different level. It changes everything. And they feel different inside, Just since I've been here, and I came here yesterday, I've talked to, one person who said they were really, really having a hard time. That's what we say, right? I'm having a hard time right now. Depressed, didn't really see any value to do anything. Like, there's no point in doing any of this stuff. Young body, not an old person, and somehow they came in contact with these teachings through this Norwegian, whatever it is, Trondheim, whatever it was up there. There it is, that. They came in contact with this, all my friends, but I don't know their TMY.no, okay. So anyway, she came in contact, went to a class, just said, oh, why not, and heard this, and somehow understood or had some impetus to try, and it, completely changed life. This is just a few months ago, but I know hundreds of people, just unlimited stories, That's why, because I, the spirit soul, I need it, and it works. It's transcendental. It's not maybe it'll work or maybe it won't. See, on the spiritual level, we're all equal. On the material level, we're not equal. I mean, there's all kind of variations or inequalities, materially speaking, you see. But on the spiritual level, we're all equal spirit souls, see. And so this is working for everybody. You could say, well, it worked for you, but it doesn't work for me. It works for everybody. The people it doesn't work for are usually the people who don't allow it to work. They're not interested enough to do it. Or they're so skeptical, that they, and if something starts to change, they even resist the change. No, I don't know. They're so stuck in what they think will make them happy externally that they refuse to do the necessary to make the internal change. Then it's not the mantra that doesn't work, it's us that refuses to allow it to work. You see, the doctor gives you a perfect prescription for your problem. You see, he tells you take these pills 3 times a day for however long. But if you don't do it, then it can't work. You see, or if he says take this, but also don't do these things, don't eat these foods, and don't do these, activities and so on. So you take this, but you do all the things he says don't do. It doesn't work either. You see. There's a formula. You have to put it all together, and a lot of people they don't accept that. But the few who do, it's amazing, and they can tell you. So this is the real solution. When you're on this stable platform inside, see, then the unstable platform, the instability of the material world, doesn't bother you. See, the material world is a very unstable place. It's designed like that. It's not an accident. We're not going to make it stable. It's designed to be like that. See, life is so temporary. It's so unstable. You can just make a misstep and, break a leg or hit your head and, do all kinds of things. You never know what's around the corner. You're feeling fine, and you just go to get a routine physical exam, and they tell you got cancer. And you just go, what? I don't feel like I got cancer. friend of mine died of breast cancer. She was dealing with it for 7 years, and I remember like 2 or 3 years into it. She was fully diagnosed with breast cancer, and she told me, I don't feel like I got cancer, But she did, sooner or later she started feeling it. So it's not about whether I feel it like that or not, it's there anyway. So experience or external experience is not always the final, parameter of is this right or is this wrong. So when I'm getting purified by the mantras inside, you see, in the whole yoga lifestyle, I'm not going to go into a whole yoga lifestyle. It's very, very complete. There's some things we should do because this is good for us spiritually. There's some things we shouldn't do. This is not good for us spiritually, just like a diet. These foods are good for you, so you should eat those. These foods are really bad for you. Don't eat those foods. You see? It's for our benefit to do both, to do the good and to avoid the bad. And if we do that, then we get a good result. If we don't do that, we don't get a good result. So the yoga system, and the bhakti yoga system is so detailed and so, uplifting, but even more, it's on a high plane of achievement. So if you start adopting this, even if some parts of it, some people say, well, they hear about it and they say, well, it's too much, I can't do all that. That's all right. What you can do, you can do. If you do this much, that's great. And when you do this much, it'll probably make it so you can do this much, and then this much, and then, and pretty soon, you've got a whole nother desire. I want to do more. See, at first, maybe you don't really want to do very much. But our desires now will change. See, how we are now doesn't mean how we will be. And some people think like that. Oh, I have these desires. I don't want to do those things. But, desires change with our changing, with the purification, with the upliftment, with the clearing away of the illusions. Desires also change. See? So what I used to be so desirous of doing, I had to do it. I could not do it. Now, it's no big deal anymore. I don't even want to do it anymore. It's changed completely. And your old friends say, well, why don't you do that anymore? I don't want to do it, If you don't want to do something, then why do it, right?